All right, everybody, let's keep you moving on your traffic this morning. And you know what? Hey, it looks like since it is a federal holiday, things are moving really good across the city, despite things being actually a little bit on the wet side on our roadways, too. So no big hangups out there on our interstates. Matt Peterson is out driving live this morning. And Matt, tell us where you are right now.
Yeah, hey, Pat. We're on I-40 coming westbound back into town. We're right by Lone Oak, right by exit 173. And really, for the most part, the rain has let up. Even the light drizzle, not really too much of an issue anymore. So we're moving smooth. There is a little bit of fog, but really nothing that's going to hinder your travel.
All right, Matt, thank you so much for your report out there this morning. Suzanne?
Today, the state parole board will decide whether or not a former teacher will be released from prison early. Brian Floss is convicted of sexual assault against a former student. 2 weeks ago, Brittany Humphrey read her 9th emotional plea to the board. She asked that he finish out his 15 years in prison. Floss was convicted of sexually assaulting Humphrey for 6 months while she was in the 3rd grade at Wallace Elementary in Fordyce.
My biggest he will do when he is released from prison. I fear that he will come near me, my loved ones, or impact the life of another innocent child.
If Floss is let out on parole, he will have served 13 of his 15 years.
In Saline County, a woman is in jail this morning after a 6-hour standoff with police. Deputies say they responded to a shots fired call on Black Oaks Court in Mableville. When they got there, they say Jacqueline Founds fired a gun from inside the house. She now faces 4 charges of aggravated assault, and officials say more charges could be filed later.
And taking a look at some national headlines, a man in Oregon is recovering after he was nearly pulled into a working wood chipper. Officials say the man is an arborist whose harness got stuck in a tree limb that were fed into the chipper. His leg tripped the safety bar in the last moment and shut the chipper off. The chipper blades were just inches away from his head when the machine stopped. The man did suffer a broken leg. Also, there will be no autopsy on late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. The decision was made by Scalia's family and officials in Texas. The 79-year-old justice died in his sleep during a hunting trip to Texas. Scalia was a leading conservative voice on the high court. His death is already starting a major political battle over his successor. It could tilt the court in the Democrats' favor. President Obama wants to name his replacement, although the White House says he will not rush. Many Republicans, however, are infuriated that he plans to submit a nominee at all, saying it's not the place of an outgoing commander-in-chief. Andrew Spencer reports.
In the wake of Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia's sudden death over the weekend, the top-ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee blasted any notion of delaying a vote on the next nominee until after the presidential election.
It would be a sheer dereliction of duty for the Senate not to have a hearing, not to have a vote.
Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell wants a nomination to be put on hold, saying, quote, "The American people should have a voice in the selection." At the heart of the dispute, some Republicans claim there's an informal history of not voting on judicial nominees in the months preceding an election. Here's Republican White House hopeful Marco Rubio.
That the next president should have a chance to fill that void, not someone who's never going to answer to the electorate again.
But for Senator Leahy and other Democrats, the GOP is confusing the facts, reminding them that Ronald Reagan's nominee, Justice Anthony Kennedy, was confirmed by the Senate in February 1988.
President Obama is doing the same thing that President Reagan did at the end of his term.
Scalia's vacancy will be felt as the Supreme Court justices are expected to take on several hot-button issues, including the contraceptive mandate, abortion, and Obama's actions on immigration. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Well, questions continue to surround Hillary Clinton concerning her emails. The final release scheduled for February 29th. The latest batch of emails includes 550 documents from Clinton's private email server. Most of those emails are either partially or entirely blocked out. On the campaign trail, Clinton continues to deny she did anything wrong and calls the issue a witch hunt by Republicans.
And early voting begins tomorrow for the Arkansas primary. If you plan on casting your vote early, you have until Saturday, February 27th to do so. Arkansas's primaries are set for March 1st. You can find a voting location near you on our website. That's fox16.com.
And history will be made at the Great American Race. Chase Elliott will be the youngest driver ever to start at the pole position for the Daytona 500. Elliott will lead the pack at the young age of 20. You can see Elliott and the rest of the NASCAR stars as they kick off their 2016 season next Sunday right here on Fox 16.
20 years old. I wonder how old he was when he started racing cars.